Not that long ago, I think maybe 6 months ago.
Health for me has never just been about physical health. Health has been more about how I'm doing in life. And I think I've never really distinguished physical from mental health. It's always been a mix of the two of them.
I don't know when, but what I do know is that the health of the mind, body, and soul have to balance.
I have very active mind, and it's a blessing, but it's a curse, and it's a tool that can create and it can destroy. So knowing myself very well, how overthinking feels, how depression feels, I do realize that this amazing tool needs as much care as physical body as well.
I would say actually not that long ago, maybe like a couple years ago, because I started to face some challenges in my life and I could not figure out exactly what was wrong and why I was facing those things. And then I started to realize that it had a lot to do with my mental health and my psychology and my perspectives, worldviews and all that. So that's probably the thing that I've been working the most on for the last couple of years.
When I was burnt out at work, that's when I realized that mental health is so important in my life.
When some people close to me were having a mental breakdown, like a proper psychotic mental breakdown.
My dad gives me values about conscience and subconscious, and he says to me that I have to choose thoughts every day like I choose clothes.
Well, when I got introduced to the concept of mental health, because before that I didn't really had a concept for it, so I couldn't really picture it or pay attention to it.
This as well, I think I was late to the party, and I think, you know, a lot of this, I guess, has to do with our upbringing, my upbringing, society. I don't think we're really taught early enough how important this is. I think probably into my 20s, just struggling with some ups and downs, and then I just took it upon myself to, you know, I mean, it wasn't really, I couldn't live like that anymore, so I just had to make some changes. So yeah, in my 20s, I would say, mid-20s.
Probably around the age of 27 when I started to have therapy for the first time, and I realized how much there was to unravel in my psyche and how much better it made me feel.
For me, my mental health started really popping up when I was in university, and I was feeling a lot of loneliness because I didn't really get along with the people in the field of study I was studying, and I also didn't really know a lot, or like didn't really identify with how things were taught, because I'm a very interactive person. There was one person up front telling us a lecture, and then at the end there was a test, and that was not how I learn. So that's when my mental health started deteriorating, and I started looking for ways of how to improve that and kind of make it through the studies that were an environment that wasn't really befitting to me.
I think when I started the yoga journey around 21, and especially in my later years, I'm 29 now, and my dad has suffered a lot of mental health issues, and I don't think consciously I saw it like that, but subconsciously there's been like, I don't want to end up like my parents, so I've kind of done the opposite of them. So yeah, I think in my kind of mid-20s, I really prioritized yoga and meditation, and it's been the core foundation of everything I do is my mental health.
I realized that maybe 3 years ago when my grandmother passed away, it was a very difficult moment for me, and I figured I need some help, and mental health is maybe even more important than the physical one, because if you're not healthy mentally, it's very difficult to be physically healthy.
Now, a lot later, unfortunately, after a few years of insomnia and nervous breakdowns.
I realized that when I was extremely heartbroken in my mid-20s, and I really seriously had to start looking after my mental health. when I was down and out and living on the street for 2 years, and that's when I realized that, hey, if I don't take care of my mental health, then I would stay in the same spot. So that's when I realized that I need to take care of my mental health.